Welcome to Celestial Zodiac. Today we're exploring Mars retrograde through the lens of astrological house placement and what it reveals about where your drive is being recalibrated. Mars retrograde is often blamed for frustration, delays, or explosive conflict. But beneath the surface, it represents something far more intentional. It is a cycle of energetic refinement. A period when motivation is examined, anger is redirected, and action becomes conscious rather than reactive. Mars governs ambition, desire, assertion, sexuality, competition, courage, and survival instinct. It rules how you pursue what you want and how you defend your boundaries. When Mars turns retrograde, forward momentum slows. Projects stall. Anger simmers instead of erupts. External conflict often reflects internal tension. Retrograde is not weakness. It is strategic recalibration. The zodiac signs describe how Mars fights and pursues. Houses reveal where that drive is being redirected. The house placement shows which life department is under energetic review. This applies whether Mars is retrograde in your natal chart or currently transiting through a house. In both cases, that house highlights where action slows, frustration surfaces, and power must be reclaimed internally before it moves outward again. Let's start with the first house, the house of identity and personal force. The first house governs identity, physical presence, and how you assert yourself in the world. It represents your raw energy and how you initiate action. When Mars moves retrograde in the first house, outward aggression turns inward. You may question how you assert yourself, how you handle conflict, or whether your current identity reflects your true strength. Suppressed anger tied to identity can resurface. Psychologically, this placement invites a reassessment of self-assertion. Are you too reactive, or not assertive enough? Mars retrograde here reveals patterns around impulse, defensiveness, and self-protection. In real life, this may show up as lower physical energy, frustration with direction, revisiting fitness goals, or reconsidering how you approach confrontation. This isn't loss of power, it's recalibration. The first house under Mars retrograde refines how you use your force. Next, we move into the second house, the house of resources and self-reliance. The second house governs money, possessions, stability, and personal value, what you rely on to survive and sustain yourself. When Mars moves retrograde in the second house, financial motivation may fluctuate. You may rethink how you earn, spend, or defend your resources. Impulsive purchases could backfire, or income-related frustrations may surface. Psychologically, this placement highlights your relationship with security and control. Do you equate money with power? Do you become defensive around resources? Mars retrograde here exposes fear-based survival patterns and challenges you to redefine strength beyond material control. In real life, this could show up as revisiting financial strategies, renegotiating pay, holding off on large purchases, or confronting tension around shared expenses. Financial frustration signals reassessment, not failure. The second house under Mars retrograde strengthens disciplined self-reliance. Moving along, we come to the third house, the house of communication and mental friction. The third house governs communication, daily interactions, siblings, and mental processing. It represents how you speak, debate, and exchange ideas. When Mars moves retrograde in the third house, words carry sharper edges. Old arguments may resurface. Passive-aggressive patterns can emerge if anger is not expressed clearly. You may rethink how you defend your opinions or how quickly you react in conversation. Psychologically, this placement invites examination of mental impatience. Are you listening, or preparing to respond? Mars retrograde here reveals where communication becomes combative instead of constructive. In real life, this could show up as revisiting written work, resolving sibling tensions, correcting misunderstandings, or choosing silence over reaction. The third house under Mars retrograde refines how you assert your voice. Now we come to the fourth house. This is the house of emotional roots and defensive patterns. The fourth house governs home, family, roots, and emotional security. It represents your private life and the conditioning that shaped your instincts. When Mars moves retrograde in the fourth house, unresolved family tension may resurface. Old anger tied to childhood experiences can rise unexpectedly. Domestic conflict may simmer beneath the surface. Psychologically, this placement reveals defensive patterns formed early in life. Mars retrograde here asks whether your emotional reactions are rooted in the present or in unresolved history. In real life, this might look like revisiting family boundaries, reorganizing your living environment, or confronting internalized anger. This isn't regression, it's integration. The fourth house under Mars retrograde rebuilds emotional strength from the foundation up. Up next is the fifth house. The fifth house is about creative fire and romantic passion. The fifth house governs creativity, romance, pleasure, and self-expression. It represents your spark, your confidence, and your willingness to take risks. When Mars moves retrograde in the fifth house, creative momentum may stall. Romantic tension can intensify or cool unexpectedly. You may question whether your pursuits are driven by ego, competition, or genuine passion. Psychologically, this placement highlights your relationship with attention and validation. Are you chasing applause or expressing authentic desire? Mars retrograde here refines how you pursue pleasure and recognition. In real life, this could show up as revising a creative project, reconsidering a dating dynamic, or pulling back from dramatic reactions. This isn't lost passion, it's redirected fire. The fifth house under Mars retrograde strengthens purposeful expression. Next is the sixth house. This is the house of work, discipline, and burnout. The sixth house governs work, daily responsibilities, health habits, and routines. It reflects how you manage effort and sustain productivity. When Mars moves retrograde in the sixth house, burnout becomes visible. Work conflicts may simmer. You may feel frustration around workload, efficiency, or physical stamina. Motivation may dip or spike unpredictably. Psychologically, this placement exposes your relationship with discipline. Are you overworking to prove worth? Avoiding action out of resentment? Mars retrograde here recalibrates how you apply effort. In real life, this could show up as revisiting job structure, adjusting health routines, confronting workplace tension, or refining time management. Temporary frustration in productivity is not failure. It's strategic reset. The sixth house under Mars retrograde restores sustainable momentum. Next is the seventh house. This is the house of partnerships and conflict dynamics. The seventh house governs committed relationships, business partnerships, contracts, and the balance between your needs and someone else's. It reflects how you handle conflict, negotiation, and direct opposition. When Mars moves retrograde in the seventh house, relationship tension may move to the forefront. Old conflicts can resurface. Power struggles may simmer beneath the surface. Agreements, romantic or professional, may require renegotiation as suppressed frustration becomes harder to ignore. Psychologically, this placement invites you to examine how you handle confrontation in close dynamics. Do you overcompromise to avoid conflict, or dominate to maintain control? Mars retrograde here exposes patterns around projection, defensiveness, and reactive behavior in partnership. In real life, this could show up as reopening unresolved arguments, redefining boundaries, or reconsidering commitments. Temporary relational friction is not collapse, it's recalibration. The 7th house under Mars retrograde strengthens partnerships through conscious boundary setting. Now we come to the 8th house, the house of power, intimacy, and shared resources. The 8th house governs shared finances, joint investments, debts, intimacy, psychological merging, and power dynamics. It reflects vulnerability, trust, and the deeper bonds that transform us. When Mars moves retrograde in the 8th house, tension around shared resources or emotional control may surface. Financial disputes could require restructuring. Issues involving jealousy, dominance, or suppressed anger in intimate relationships may rise into awareness. Psychologically, this placement brings shadow material forward. Mars retrograde here can expose fear around betrayal, loss of control, or dependency. It asks whether your bonds are built on mutual empowerment or subtle power imbalance. In real life, this could show up as reviewing joint accounts, confronting trust issues, renegotiating shared responsibilities, or facing emotional truths you've avoided. Intensity during this period signals transformation, not destruction. The 8th house under Mars retrograde refines how you assert power within intimacy. Next is the 9th house. This is the house of beliefs, expansion, and conviction. The 9th house governs belief systems, higher education, long-distance travel, spirituality, publishing, and the philosophies that shape your worldview. It represents your guiding principles and your sense of direction. When Mars moves retrograde in the 9th house, ideological conflict may intensify. You may question long-held beliefs, challenge authority figures, or feel frustration around stalled expansion. Plans involving travel, education, or legal matters could require revision. Psychologically, this placement invites you to examine where your convictions become combative. Are you defending truth or defending ego? Mars retrograde here refines your philosophical fire and redirects it toward disciplined purpose rather than reaction. In real life, this could show up as reworking academic goals, reevaluating spiritual commitments, or reconsidering legal actions. Temporary frustration around direction is not failure, it's recalibration. The 9th house under Mars retrograde sharpens conviction through reflection. Next is the 10th house, the house of career, authority, and public ambition. The 10th house governs reputation, authority, public standing, and long-term achievement. It reflects ambition, leadership style, and how you pursue recognition. When Mars moves retrograde in the 10th house, professional momentum may slow or feel blocked. Workplace conflict may simmer. You may question leadership roles, career direction, or whether your ambition is aligned with your authentic drive. Psychologically, this placement highlights your relationship with authority, both external and internal. Are you fighting to prove something? Rebelling against control? Mars retrograde here reveals whether your ambition is fueled by purpose or pressure. In real life, this could show up as reassessing career strategy, redefining professional boundaries, reconsidering a leadership role, or restructuring long-term goals. Temporary delays in visibility are not defeat, they're strategic reset. The 10th house under Mars retrograde refines how you pursue power and success. Next is the 11th house. The 11th house governs friendships, social networks, community involvement, long-term goals, and the vision you hold for your future. It represents collective alignment and the people who share your ideals. When Mars moves retrograde in the 11th house, tension within friendships or group dynamics may surface. Competitive energy can rise unexpectedly. You may reassess alliances, question loyalty, or feel frustration around stalled long-term goals. Social circles may feel more combative, or you may withdraw to reassess where your energy truly belongs. Psychologically, this placement invites you to examine how you assert yourself within a group. Do you suppress your opinions to maintain harmony, or push too forcefully to dominate direction? Mars retrograde here reveals whether your future goals are fueled by authentic drive or external pressure. In real life, this could show up as confronting tension within a group, reevaluating collaborative projects, or redefining your ambitions. Temporary friction in community is not rejection, it's recalibration. The 11th house under Mars retrograde refines who you choose to fight alongside and the future you pursue. Finally, we come to the 12th house. The 12th house governs the subconscious, hidden motivations, private struggles, spiritual surrender, and unresolved karmic patterns. It represents what operates beneath awareness, especially suppressed emotion and instinct. When Mars moves retrograde in the 12th house, buried anger and unexpressed frustration may surface quietly. Old conflicts you thought were resolved can reappear internally. You may feel lower physical energy, or heightened internal agitation without a clear outlet. Psychologically, this placement invites deep introspection around suppressed aggression. Mars retrograde here reveals unconscious patterns around self-sabotage, avoidance, or passive resistance. It asks whether you've been directing anger inward instead of asserting it outward in healthy ways. In real life, this could show up as withdrawing to process emotions, confronting a hidden resentment, reworking private strategies, or recognizing a repeating pattern of self-undermining behavior. Temporary solitude during this period is not weakness, it's integration. The 12th house under Mars retrograde refines your strength at the subconscious level. As you reflect on where Mars retrograde is operating in your chart, consider not just the house itself but the type of house it occupies. In angular houses, the 1st, 4th, 7th, and 10th, the recalibration tends to feel more visible. These houses govern identity, home, relationships, and career. When Mars retrogrades here, shifts in action, authority, and conflict may play out externally. You may feel blocked, challenged, or forced to reassess how you assert yourself in these core life structures. In succeedent houses, the 2nd, 5th, 8th, and 11th, the focus turns to stabilization and control. These houses govern resources, creative output, shared power, and long-term goals. Mars retrograde here reassesses how you use energy to sustain security and ambition. It asks whether your drive is disciplined or reactive. In cadent houses, the 3rd, 6th, 9th, and 12th, the recalibration becomes quieter and more internal. These houses govern communication, routine, belief systems, and the subconscious. Frustration may simmer beneath the surface. Motivation may fluctuate. Strategy replaces impulse. Mars retrograde does not remove strength, it refines it. The house reveals where action slows, anger surfaces, and power must be reclaimed internally before it moves outward again. Thank you for watching Celestial Zodiac. If this Mars retrograde breakdown resonated with you, subscribe for more in-depth planetary insights, house placements, and grounded astrology analysis. Until next time, stay disciplined, stay aware, and let your power evolve with the cycles.